Great. He's out sick today. He's out sick. Okay. Just wait on you. I knew you were. All right, welcome. We're going to reconvene. I'm going to call to order at 6:09. And I'm going to report on some actions that were taken in closed session. By a vote of 5-0, the board took action to approve resolution number 151604 to release an administrator for the 2016-2017 school year. Attendance roll call. Clerk Elkishin. Here. Trustee Lopez. Here. Trustee DiGiulio. Here. Trustee Hunt. Here. And student rep Sophia. Here. And President Maxfield. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Agenda, anything to be removed or added?
Move that we approve the agenda.
Second.
Student rep? Board?
Aye.
Aye. District mission statement. We are a collaborative, culturally rich educational community where a rigorous and innovative curriculum prepares our students to be successful contributors to our global society. Public comments. Public comments from the floor, non-agendized items. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the board on any item regarding board business that is not on the agenda. Without taking action or entering into a dialogue with the public, board members may briefly respond to statements made or ask clarifying questions about topics posed by the public. Your matter may be referred to administration. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each.
Good evening. My name is Brian Fenton. Recently, the papers reported that in elementary school teachers' records had been expunged of some warnings. These were posted on this information, this news was posted on Facebook. And there was following a series of comments on Facebook that implied that there's some teachers who perhaps should not be there because of racial prejudice, or I guess that's to sum it up. Along with these comments that were made at that time, is one of the board members made comments, and they were later deleted. But the question is here, are such comments appropriate for a board member to make? Will there be an explanation for these comments? Will there be documentation to back them up? Will there be perhaps a Someone will withdraw the statements and apologize for those statements. You may not even know what I'm talking about, but that would be up for that board member to inform you all if they have not done so already. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, moving on. Item number 11, reports, recognition, information, discussion items. 11.1. CFW scholarship presentation. I don't think, Barbara's not going to make it.
Well, no, I'm not,
Yes,
but I'm good.
yeah.
Hi, my name is John Greenlee, and I am here in Barbara's replacement. She apologized she could not make it. But I've been working with the district. I've been working with Esmeralda over the last few years. I am the managing director in charge of the financial advisory unit at CFW. And it is my honor to come here today and to be able to present to you our annual scholarship. CFW has been your financial partner, but what we have is we have our CFW Foundation, which gives away scholarships primarily targeted to our client base. It's probably one of the more exciting things that I get to do. My job sometimes can be a little doldrum, so when I can come out and share something like this with my clients, I think it's a great thing. Give you a little bit of background. We're a little different in the way that we target our scholarships. Most scholarships, as you probably can imagine, are for the 4.0 or the 4.5 type of student that I think has access to a lot of resources. We really target those students with the assistance of staff and counselors to identify those that have really been up against a lot of challenges, very unique backgrounds. Maybe they are going to trade schools or just wouldn't have the normal access to, let's say, the type of resources or other type of scholarships. When we do it, it really is. I think it's a unique opportunity and one that I'm personally very proud to be part of. This year, I think there are probably a lot of applicants that were available for this scholarship here at Calistoga. This individual, I had a chance to really go through and look at her background, kind of what she was up against, and it was really amazing. There are a few things that really stuck out to me personally, as well as I think the people at the foundation when they were looking at making the selection. One was just the adversity that she'd kind of come up through. She had some educational difficulties maybe at the very beginning, but has really emerged as a real leader here at the school. Also her fact that she works part-time and assists with the family just makes a very well-rounded individual. So I would like to take time right now to actually let you know that the recipient will be Luisa Argueto, and she has earned a $2,000 scholarship. So with that, I would like to make the award and make it for Luisa. Hopefully she is here.
Yes, she is. Yes. Oh, photo, definitely. And we appreciate all CFW does. Thank you. Congratulations.
Would you like to say anything? Say whenever. But I would like to recognize that the school, you all do such a great job with your students. This is a very typical example when they use the overused frame. It takes a village to raise a child. I think you do that with all of your students. Every time that we have to give away a scholarship, the stories are always very amazing. I think under the leadership that you have here, both at the staff level as well as the board level, you really do a great job. And it's our honor to be your partner and to be able to give away the scholarship to a very deserving student here at Calistoga. Thank you very
Again,
much.
we appreciate your generosity. Thank you. That's a good one to start off with. 11.2, Measure A, annual report to the community. Lisa Skinner. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to be here today to present the Measure A Citizens Committee annual report for the fiscal year of 2014-15, which is ending June 30th, 2015. My name is Lisa Skinner. I'm the president of the Measure A Oversight Committee, and I'd also like to acknowledge some of my fellow committee members who have joined me today. Rose and Julia and Donna are also here to help me present this today. So this is our 2014-15 report. 14-15 was a pretty quiet year for the Measure A committee, but what's really exciting about it is that we have really come to closure. The Measure A fund has a zero balance, and that means that everything that was spent in the fund has all been accounted for, has all been audited, and has all been completed. And so that's really exciting for all of us here, especially those who have been working with this since the measure passed in 2010. The Phase 1 project, which was about $16.3 million worth of activities, most of that happened a few years ago, and the final pieces of that happened in 2014-15. And then the Phase 2 project actually wasn't funded by the Measure A funds, and that's something that we want to make sure that people understand, that that was funded through a COP, and that there is some expectation that Measure A funds after the next bond issuance can be used to repay that COP for the authorized activities for Measure A. Let's see. Let's go to page 2. Hey, it worked. So this just gives the overview from the inception of the bond sales in 2010 all the way through the end of the fiscal year. It shows the money that was spent in the different categories to show that everything was spent in its entirety. And it shows that Phase 1 expenditures are complete. The full expense and accounting for it is in the district's budget reports, and this has been fully audited now through June 2015. And these were the first 2 bond sales, and there are no pending bond sales now. So right now, our committee, the Oversight Committee, is going to have a little downtime before you all get working on Phase 3. And we look forward to supporting you both as citizens and as part of the committee when that happens. The last piece of this is the financial and performance audit. This is always near and dear to my heart, being a finance person. And this is really exciting for you and the people in your administration and Jenna and the work that Terry did before her. And this shows that this is what's really important, and this is what we see in the work that we do and the things that we've witnessed, and then have the auditors confirm for us, and I will read it. The firm's test resulted in no findings and recommendations related to the audit of the Measure A bond fund for the year ending June 30th, 2015, as it has not had any findings since its inception. And that's wonderful, and that's what we're here for. Y en español también. This is available, the Measure A report, annual report on the district website. It has been distributed to the schools, and I believe there are also copies in the district office. So I'd like to thank you and see if there are any questions.
Question? Well, we appreciate, oh, question?
Yeah, there's a question, and there are 2 items on here that don't seem to be the usual use of the bond funds. And one of them is that to pay off a COP that has already been, so you're paying off a loan, an existing loan, for work that was done, and the bond measure is for construction related items. And then the other one, we have a line item for the master facilities plan costs were also included. Do you have letters or documentation from the State Attorney General, Superintendent of Public Education, or State Treasurer that confirm that bond funds can be used to pay those things? Because you do list them.
Lisa, I would like to respond to that. All of the,
Her committee put these in here. Can she respond?
but it is a district committee, Brian.
No,
Okay?
it's independent.
It is a committee that was appointed by the board.
Independent committee by law.
It is a committee that was appointed by the board.
That's correct.
And the fact is that all of the work that has been done, whether it's phase 1 or phase 2, was part of Measure A and listed all those projects. Now the district, the board, has the option of repaying for those expenses, which is the COP. The district may not exercise that option. It is completely up to the board whether we will do that or not. Lisa, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, my understanding is that and you can correct me, but that the phase 2 project pieces that were completed were all, anything that could be reimbursed by the Measure A fund that was funded through the COP would be those items in phase 2 that were directly approved with Measure A fund.
That's correct.
Yeah. We basically, the board basically decided that it was a better deal to do a COP at that time than issue a bond to fund those projects. Now, we can come back at a later date when things are more advantageous for the bond market to pay off that COP, or we may not. Just depends on what's happening that day and time. We can't predict what's happening 3 or 4 years down the road. We have estimates and guesses, but we don't know. So
Basically what it does, it allows the district to expedite the work of improving the facilities. That's all it does.
Just like the district monies that were put into phase 1
Correct.
as well.
Correct.
anyways, the board appreciates the committee's hard work. Thank you, Rose and Julie and Donna.
Thank you.
And Lisa, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Uh, 11.3, principals report. Jane, acting principal.
Good evening. The report in itself is pretty self-explanatory, chronicling some of the major events, but probably the major accomplishment this month at the site was really the revision and revamping totally and reorganization of our school safety plan. We're sharing a joint template with the junior senior high school, and we have moved our template to the state comprehensive safety plan template, which I shared with site council. I think one of our members is actually here this evening and reviewed it with site council. I'd like to acknowledge Vice Principal Lamar, who really took this as her first project and really is working diligently with safety committee. I also wanted to point out that while we don't have a citywide drill as we did several years ago, which in the future might be a really great idea, in the short term, we do what we call dry scenarios. So on March 14th, our staff is going to be engaging in what we call a dry scenario rehearsal of roles and actions in a couple of emergency scenarios. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. It's been a labor of love, and we've got a very full, comprehensive plan. Any questions on the rest of the report?
Any questions?
Great. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jane. Principal's report, David.
So the junior high, we've been pretty busy. A lot of activities. I want to thank Ms. Hanson, who's our ASB teacher this year. She's taken that on, and she's really and Cassandra as well with ACE, because they've helped put together. The leadership team has helped, or the leadership class has put on a lunchtime rally, and they worked with the ACE after-school program to put that together. They did a wonderful job at our rally just a couple weeks ago. We're happy to have Ms. Serber back. She was on leave for a while, and we're excited because we had the opportunity to share her with the Career Center, where she'll be working half-time. helping out the high school seniors with their college and scholarship applications. She's been doing a wonderful job splitting time there. I took a group of teachers to a brain conference last month in San Francisco. We learned quite a bit of new strategies about how to engage kids in learning. The other big highlight is that our 8th grade for the first time took the PSAT, which is mirroring the new SAT format. 53 kids. It was a long test. It was about 4. We started at 8 o'clock. I think we finished at lunchtime, 12:50. So filling out those bubbles, with your name and all of that information takes quite a while. But the kids persisted. They made it through the 5 sections of the test. And we're excited to see how well they do and, get some information and some data points. It'll be a good opportunity for parents to look at the test. Khan Academy has created modules to help kids practice on their own, as well as for our teachers to look at and see where our gaps are. I told the kids, we're testing the teachers, not you guys. And I think they felt a lot more at ease because of that. But it was.
And that's the new test.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So this is the first time they've done it with 8th and 9th grade. It's actually called PSAT 8-9. It's a brand new test. It mirrors the new SAT test that they've changed. This spring will be the first time they give the new SAT test, and this mirrors that. So.
Great, thank you.
Well.
Any questions? And Sophia, because Mr. Wyckoff is out, so can we have written reports here?
You get to provide his report.
You can just read it right here.
No, Sophia.
Okay, so recently we just started our spring season for sports. I'm pretty sure all of the teams have had their first game. I know the softball team had their first win, and tennis had their first win.
Okay.
Baseball lost, but their team they faced was way out of their league anyways. Swimming had our first meet too. That was exciting. Miss Yoder's doing big things trying to get our team to be more fair, because our school is really small, or our squad is really small, and even our first meet was just against St. Helena, and even just compared to them, we can't get very far. But anyways, and for our classes, so Mr. Gutman is doing a TEDx, Napa TEDx. This is the second year he's been doing it, and so that's what we've been doing as seniors and juniors. So he's this whole week and last week too, we've been presenting our ideas and presentations for that. So I don't know who's gonna get chosen, but that's exciting. And also with Mr. Gutman for our journalism class, we've been writing new articles every week, and recently too, one of my friends has been writing an article about voting and how important that is. I don't know how upkept our students are here, but I think it should be higher. I don't think many of them follow politics, but to me, I don't know, it's really important. But yeah, she's writing an article about that. And then for ASB, we had a rally. We had one planned for Valentine's Day, and it actually got postponed by Mr. Hartel, our ASB, coordinator, and he felt that we were unprepared, which, I don't know, to me, I was kind of offended because I felt really prepared, and our whole class, we were what, it got canceled, but it just ended up being postponed till a couple weeks later, or maybe a week later. But it actually turned out way better, and I'm glad that he postponed it. And then we ended up doing break activities too, and that was really cool, because we got teachers involved. There was a bunch of pictures of Mr. Miller and Mr. Gutman with makeup on them, so that was pretty funny. And I feel recently, especially too, a lot of kids have had low participation with school activities and school spirit, but I feel stuff like that really boosted the morale with the school, so that was cool. And for prom too, so on Saturday, as you guys know, there's the crab feed, so our ASB staff members were there helping, and hopefully we made some tip money. to raise money for prom because we're still struggling. But yeah, hopefully that'll go well.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it, Sophia. 11.7, second interim financial report. Jenna Burrows, Director of Business Services.
So in front of you, you have your second interim financial report. As you know, this covers through January 31st of this fiscal year. And our budget's always changing. We do our best to base it on the newest information we have and the most accurate. And so that's what this portrays at this point in time. Always excited to tell you about new revenue. It's a good thing. We have a CTE grant. We just got awarded for our CTE programs, and so that's pretty exciting. It's about $108,000. Ed Burke, our Director of Food Services, applied for an equipment grant so that we can upgrade equipment at both the elementary and high school cafeterias, and that's about $86,000. Also, as you can see, our revenues are up this year from past years in terms of property taxes, and hopefully it stays that way. And I think it's important to point out that on page 3 of the assumptions portion, although we do have new revenue, we have to always be thinking about and be conscious of the fact that we are facing constant increases in the coming years to STRS and PERS for the employer contribution rates. And both of those are anticipated to be close to 20% by 2019-20. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, I think you'll see that we're fortunate, being a community-funded district, that we're able to offer, very competitive salaries for our teachers as well and our staff. And last, just to go over our policy for our reserves. As you know, we maintain a policy to keep a reserve around 20%, and we've been investing in our facilities and other one-time costs such as contributions to special ed, and as you know, that is hard to predict and can be extremely costly, and we have to keep in mind not only our current students but new students, and these costs can pop up at any time during the year. So on page 4 of the financials, you'll see that our contribution has increased out of our general fund to our restricted general fund, and mostly for special ed purposes, I would say. And our reserves, as I was saying, my apologies, we continue to invest in our facilities, as you know, so of course these are one-time costs that we're aware of, which is why our reserves are lower than we normally maintain. And this budget you see also includes those projects that we have planned for the upcoming summer. And unless there's any questions, I think that covers it.
Questions?
I do have a question in regards to the contributions to STRS. What is the total amount a year that we're contributing now, and if you have any idea what would be in 2020?
Oh, the actual cost in 2020? So if we, I'm not sure about in 2020 per se. We kind of assumed if you take about where we're at now with salaries, these increases over the years would cost over probably close to at least $500,000, and I think that's a conservative estimate. And that's just STRS. I'm not talking about PERS, so PERS would be additional on top of that. Yeah. Yes.
But the rates have already been set and the increases
Yes.
per year. So that is your assumptions right there. It shows you basically the percentage that is going up each year, and how by July 1st, 2020, it will be at 19, 2010.
Yeah. And that is set in statute. That's not something that will change, and obviously we don't have a choice,
That is the
unfortunately.
law.
Yeah.
Right, and it's very significant amount.
Very significant, yes.
It's contributing to the
Yes.
retirement benefits.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, Jen.
Sure.
So you're up for 11.8 also?
Yes. So this is really just redundant information. The county, we're required to bring this to the board. It's basically the information you've already seen regarding our financial audit.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. And 11.9, Superintendent, the LCAP?
11.9. That is basically keeping with our tradition as far as bringing to you where we are and so what some of the activities are as it relates to parent engagement, what's going on and how those activities complied or align, I should say, with the LCAP. So if you have any questions, let us know.
Okay. Questions? No? Move on. Okay, item 12, consent calendar. This requires a roll call vote. Actions proposed for the consent agenda are deemed routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless any member of the board, the audience, or staff requests specific items be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. Anybody need anything pulled? Questions? Okay, looking for a motion?
I'll move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Oh, quick. Indira. Okay, this is a roll call. Clerk Elkishan. Trustee Lopez.
Aye.
Trustee DiGiulio.
Aye.
Trustee Hunt.
Aye.
Student Rep Sophia. And President Maxfield, aye. 13.0 action items. Protocol for action items includes a staff presentation, questions from the board, public input, deliberation by the board, and voting by the board. During public input, there will be a 3-minute time limit per person. 13.1 second interim financial report. The second interim financial report is the second official financial report to the Board of Trustees for the 2015-16 fiscal year. The second interim financial report is based on financial transactions that took place between July 1st, 2015 and January 31st.
So it's requested that the board approve the second interim report as presented.
Any public comments, questions? Okay.
I'll second.
Student rep? Good, good, okay, you sure? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 13.2, My Math Adoption. During the 2014-15 school year, 2 different programs were piloted by K-5 teachers. Math Expressions in My Math. Both programs included an array of digital support and resources, as well as consumable workbooks that allowed students access to materials at home. After multiple discussions, evaluations, and surveys, McGraw-Hill My Math was deemed to be the best option.
At this point, we are asking the board to approve the adoption of My Math, which aligns with going forward.
Any questions, discussions? All right, looking for a
Move that
motion?
we adopt My Math.
Julie, and this is a roll call, it looks like. Clerk Elkishan? Trustee Lopez? Trustee DiGiulio?
Aye.
Trustee Hunt?
Aye.
Student rep? All right. 14.0, future agenda items. Tentative April agenda. Food services update, I take it that'd be Ed, maybe some info on his grant?
Correct.
District and board calendars and LCAP update, preliminary budget reports. Anything else anybody needs to? Okay.
There will be a lot more items, end of the year items.
Yeah, you think?
As always.
Okay. Board calendar, Monday, next meeting is Monday, April 11th, 6 PM here, 5 o'clock in the conference room at the district. And then Monday, May 2nd. Right. Item 16.0, events, March 11th, end of the third quarter at the high school, junior high. March 14th, Staff Development Day. 27th, Easter Sunday. 28th to 31st, spring break.
And start thinking as to what graduation, by the way, or promotion ceremony you would like to attend.
Ah, Sophie, do you know anybody else graduating? Maybe, okay. Okay, no need to reconvene to closed session.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Thank you for coming.